Another day working on the snake painting. I don't even really know what to do with it. Unfortunately, I can't play any music in the background. I have nothing to say. I'm just tired of doing this painting. The children have gone on to better and more exciting things. So, oh my word. I would like it to be done so that it's not leaning up against the garage door. You know? I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining. It's been raining. Which is alright. Needs it. But it's kind of muggy and icky in here. Okay, let's see. Let me get back and see. Okay, I think I'm gonna put another leaf here. Okay, that's see if there's any green that's still liquidy in there. Hmm. I wonder if this is how kids feel when they paint or when they color a color, and overwhelming and all of those things. Because this does seem huge and overwhelming. But it's also really cool. I'll check to see what message that is in just a second. Okay. Well, the reason why I'm doing a snake painting is the kids wanted to do a giant snake painting because, well, Summer especially loves snakes. And so, I thought it would be really cool to do a giant painting. And we had all this extra plywood that's just junk plywood, and so I suggested it. Everybody said, yeah, that'd be really fun. So I used like the projector thing for a TV, that you can hook it up to your regular, whatever, however you get your TV, the internet or whatever, and then it projects it onto the wall or onto a screen, and so you get a really big screen, TV screen. So I projected a picture of snakes, and the kids traced it, and they painted them, and they had a lot of fun. And then we had all this extra space around the edges. They wanted to put leaves and stuff, and so I made these, which are I just printed out the shape of leaves to trace. But they did it, but they haven't. I mean, there's so much stuff that's going on. It's 4th of July coming up, and they're excited about that. And then home to their parents. And when they go home to their parents, well, obviously they're not going to have access to this, and they can't take it home. It's gigantic. So, yeah, and so that's the story behind why it's a snake painting. But as far as what we're going to do with it, which was another question someone asked the other day, heck, I don't know. What should we do with it? I don't know. It's giant. It and it's the plywood isn't necessarily very good. So I don't really know. I thought putting it on the side of a shed or something. But all we have the garage, which is concrete block. We have a metal shed. I guess we could put it on the outside of the metal shed. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. I'll ask the kids what they want to do with it. They're probably pretty happy about it. And I think they did a good job. They came up with their own colors and looked up what different snakes look like. Spencer opted for a cobra, and he started painting it, and then he kind of lost interest, so I finished painting it. Summers is this snake. I forget what kind of snake it is, and Sage's. This is Sage's, the red-headed snake, and it's got almost a rainbow rainbow colored thing. And then Spencer, after the fact, while the girls were working on leaves, Spencer came in and drew these little snakes, which I painted. So I think they had a lot of fun. I think they showed some creativity, and you know what? It's kind of like this. Here's an example of how kids remembers things. So when Joey and who are in their 30s now, India is these kids' mom. When they were, they were probably 9 and 11. They were little. We were making popcorn, and they said, "What would happen if you didn't put it on the popcorn pan that you're shaking?" And I said, "It would go everywhere." And they thought that was pretty funny. So I said, "Here, you." And I let them pop popcorn without a lid on. And popcorn went absolutely everywhere. It was flying through the air. They were laughing hysterically. They thought it was the funniest thing ever. Years later, when I sold that house and I moved the refrigerator, there was popcorn behind the refrigerator, which is kind of shameful too. The refrigerator to get popcorn out from behind it. But they remember that. They remember the popcorn making. They remember the excitement of it. They remember that I let them do it, and that it was really cool that they got to do this crazy thing that most kids would never be allowed to do. So I think the fact that I have let these kids, encourage them even, to paint a giant painting of the subject of their choice, which was snakes, would not have been my probably choice as a kid. I think maybe remember it. And maybe someday in the future, probably long after I'm gone, they'll be saying, "Hey, remember back when our great grandma let us paint a giant snake painting?" Yeah, that's cool. So I don't know if you got kids, if you have kids, think about that. Think about how you could make a memory that your kids will always remember and will love. And the reason why I'm finishing it, and there are people who have said, "Well, it was the kids you've been working on it," because I want it to be completed. And it is 4th of July week, and they will have other activities to do, and they're not going to want to be in a hot garage painting this painting when they could be out going to festivals and, all the other things that they do while they're here. So I want to get it done so that it's a completed project and they can look at a completed thing. And will it be 100% theirs? No, but you know what? We're not even going to worry about that because it's 100% theirs in heart. It's 100% theirs. I don't even know if you can decide that I'm working on. Probably not. Huh? I might have to add, this paint in this little cup is completely gross. It's all congealed and stuff and lumpy. I might have to add more fresh paint, but I was hoping to use up as much as I could because the paint situation is probably finally getting low. This paint is paint that I bought years ago for different projects, and it's kind of gross. I think when paint freezes and gets hot, it probably does something to it. So I'm thinking that's what's wrong with it. It's just a lot of freeze and thaw and probably loss of moisture because the containers are not really completely sealed. I'm trying to think of some of the other crazy things I've done with the kids that, I know one. Oh, this was so stupid. This was really bad. The kids were staying with me and like overnight, and you can only do so much stuff, and kids get rambunctious, and my place is on a highway, and it's not like, whatever. If it was cold, I don't remember what time of year it was cold outside, they wouldn't have wanted to go outside in the snow and the cold, and if it was hot, they wouldn't have wanted to go out there with bugs. So I thought, I'm going to give them this old thing, and I wasn't even really sure what it was, to take apart. And so it turned out it was a multi-disc CD player. And it had room for, I'm thinking, 5 CDs. And so I put it down on the dining room table, and I put some tools down, and I said, go ahead, take it apart, see if you can figure out how it works. And they did. And I have pictures of it. It's just great. I'll see if I can find some, and then I'll post them. And they took this thing apart. And at some point, I don't know if I talked to somebody in the family or what the deal was, I became aware that there had been nothing wrong with it. It wasn't broken. It worked perfectly. Now, does anybody need a 5-disc CD player in this day and age where everything is just it's an MP3, it's electronic file, it's streaming. You don't really even use CDs anymore. I know some people still have them, but I don't buy CDs anymore. I buy music as an electronic file, or I just stream it. So, yeah, I don't feel too terribly bad about that, but that will be one for the record books, because I let them destroy a perfectly fine working piece of electronics. That's pretty good. And today, we're going to go to the library because they're having a comic book art workshop. And because these kids have some artistic ability and interest, they will probably enjoy that. Hopefully I'll remember to take off my painting clothes so I don't look like a homeless person. Let's get some fine details over here. I just have one. That's it, one. Oh, somebody else has just asked me a question. Let me see what it is. Okay, the question is, who are these kids to me? They are my great-grandchildren, and they are very dear to my heart, and I've spent a lot of time with them. And in my life as a midwife, I actually was the midwife attending their births. Although I didn't actually catch any of them. The first one, the oldest one, is Sage. She's 13 now, and her mother, my daughter, her grandmother, my daughter, actually caught her. And then Summer is going to be 11 soon, and her dad caught her. And Spencer, who's going to be 9 in just like a couple weeks, which is hard to imagine, he came early, and so he was born at the hospital. So that's who they are. I love them. They are They are the most magical children in the world, and I think everybody feels that way about their grandkids. If you don't, you oughta, and you ought to think hard, long and hard about your heart, that if you can't look at your great-grandkids or your grandkids and think, these are the most magical people in the whole frickin' world, there's something wrong with you. Because they should be. Even if they're naughty children, even if they have their problems, which everybody has problems, they should be so special to you that you can't hardly even stand it. And that's how I feel about them. And can they make me crazy? Sure they can. They're kids. Of course they can. But I love spending time with them. They're smart. They're beautiful. They're kind, usually. Sometimes they're not kind to each other. Sometimes they're kind of out of control. But that's okay, because they're kids. And you have to go through that to learn how to control yourself. You have to go through a period of being out of control. I think you probably do have to go through a period of being out of control to learn how to control yourself. Okay, so the next question is, why aren't they helping again? Okay, so I already said that earlier. The reason why they're not helping right now is because there's going to be other things going on today. This is very early in the morning, and it is 4th of July week, or almost 4th of July week. And so there's lots of things going on. There's festivals, and there's just lots of fun. And they, in balancing what they have time for, they don't really have time to spend hours on this, which is the boring part. It's the background. They did the fun part. They did the snake part. When there's all these other things attracting their attention. So let them spend their energy on what is exciting for them, and I will work on the background. Now, the reason why I even care about doing the background is I want to really keep this. I don't want this to just go by the wayside, because it's really pretty cool. And they did this when they're little, and it'd be a fun thing to keep around for a long time. To keep it, though, I have to put it somewhere. It has to be, I can't just, it's not like you can put it in a cupboard. So one of the things I thought about was attaching it to a wall. The problem is I don't have walls that I could attach it to. This garage is a brick building, a block building. But I do have a metal shed, and I could attach it to the metal shed. I can't take it to their house because I don't have a vehicle big enough to carry a sheet of plywood to their house. And unless their dad comes down here with his truck, I don't have a way to do that. So that's kind of the plan. Finish it, attach it somewhere so we can enjoy it and we can remember it, and that's just kind of the deal. And I'm getting to the point, though, where I'm probably just going to do a solid color around everything that's here. And that solid color, unless I go to the store and buy more paint, which I really don't want to do. My whole goal had been to kind of just use up this old crappy paint, because it is old and it is crappy. And it's crappy because it's old, not because it's originally crappy. I'm actually very impressed with this craft paint, which is, what brand is it? It's Apple Barrel brand. It has, it's maintained its vibrancy in other projects the kids have done outside. For instance, there's a brick outside that Sage painted last year to commemorate the life of a pet that she had. And that brick is as bright and colorful as it was the day she painted it. And it's been through snow and heat, and it's still bright and colorful. So, yeah, I'm pretty impressed. She did tell me yesterday that the brick, they put a clear, her Aunt Libby helped her. They put a clear coat on the brick after they painted it. So, I suppose I should spray this with a clear coat when I'm done, or if they come and finish it. But I also think it'd be kind of cool to finish it, to get it up on a wall before they leave to go home, because then they can see, we did that, and they can see where it is, and I don't know, I just think stuff like that's cool, and that's kind of the whole story of it. It's nothing really phenomenally bizarre or anything else. It's just like, yeah, let's just do this giant painting, and now we've got a giant painting. What are we going to do with it? And I don't know. And now they're tired of doing it. And now I've got to do it. And this is an evolving situation. I don't know if you can hear the raindrops, but they're still dropping. They're still dripping out there. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say I'm done with leaves. I am so done with leaves. You have no idea. Now, the question is, what do I do with the background? If I did it black, would they stand out? You can't do it blue. We've got too many blue things. So let's put that out of the mix. I can't do it green. We have too many green things. I have black. They have some black outlines on some of their snakes, but I think we could do black. That might work. The only thing that's yellow, there's a snake that's yellow, and there's a part of the rainbow snake. Light blue. Yeah, we could do light blue. I don't know that I have enough light blue. I'm not going to do blue. I'm not going to do purple. The background's already white. Brown. Is that enough brown? If I mix the brown with black. Okay, that's something to think about. No, blue, blue, blue. Green, more green. Red. No, I don't think red. Huh. Let's try. Let's just try a little combination. Let's put a little black on here. See how that looks. Okay. It just looks like dark brown. I don't know if there's enough brown that would actually make a difference. Let's see. See how it looks next to the black. Oh, another question coming in. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix up a bunch of brown and black together because I have enough of it. but I need a jar. I need a jar to mix it up in, like this jar. I'll have to go and find a jar. Let's see. When do I think I'll be done? God, I don't know. I don't know. I want to be done now. I really want to be done. I'm just done with this. I just don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that it's just a matter of mixing the paint and doing it. So hang on, I'm gonna go get a jar. I'm back. Okay, does anybody else get grossed out by this? After it rains, when I walk on the sidewalk, there are, in the summertime, not in the wintertime, obviously, but in the summertime, there are always worms and snails that have crawled out from the greenery and they like are on the sidewalk. And then when I walk on it, I squish them. And it grosses me out so bad. It is so gross. Yeah, so that's what I just went through. Okay, let's see. Ooh, there's some globbies in this brown. Gross. Let's see. I think I'll use. That's weird. Oh, it's a glitch thing. Yeah. So, see if we get a nice dark brown. Excuse me, a nice dark brown again. But there are. See there. See the globs. That's what happens when the paint gets old or when air gets in with the paint and it starts congealing and it's just gross. Okay, let's see what we can get done. See how it looks up next to the leaves? There's some nice contrast there. I just have to remind myself this isn't fine art. It's more like Americana. And I'll put stems on after it's all done. I'm doing this so that if the color is changed, I can blend it in better, and it won't be so obvious that it's a transition of color or paint mix. And in just a little while, uh, that program at the library starts, so I can't work on this too long. That's why I wanted the jar, so that I could keep the colored mix together. Wish you could hear the birds. You probably can't. You barely hear me. But there are birds outside, and they just sound so nice. They're happy because it rained and everything's wet and it's lovely, and probably all those worms on the sidewalk that they're dipping down to get. But oh, there's another question. Let's see. Is this an artist channel? Obviously, it is not. Obviously, it is an everything channel. Actually, Salt of the Earth Press is my business that I publish books from. And so there's a lot of different things that go on. Publish books and podcasts. I publish podcasts also. But about a year ago, there were some things that happened that I haven't done anything with this channel. And so when the kids were here visiting, I thought, you know what? They'll have so much fun if they do live videos. And we have. They've really loved it. We've gone for walks. We've gone by mansions. We've done some projects. We've cooked things. And they've really enjoyed it. And they've enjoyed seeing how many people watched the live videos. So the reason why I'm doing a live video without children right now is because they started this and I want it done. So just watch or don't watch. I'm just going to keep on working on it. I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not. I might not like it. It might not matter though. I guess that's wet paint around the edges. It looks like it's white, but it's that is wet paint, not white showing through. But there's white. Yes, I start sighing. I just start sighing because it's like, oh my God, will it ever end? Hmm. Oh, another message. Let's see. Am I going to sell it? No. I'm going to put it up somewhere so that the kids can see that their artwork has been displayed. You see what my time is going on. Yeah, I've got to quit pretty quick because we're going to the library. I want to do some of these tricky areas so that if the kids decide they want to work on it, work on the background, they don't have to risk messing up their beautiful snakes with drips and stuff, because that happened a few times. This has all had to be fixed. There have been drips on flowers, drips on the white background. It's just what happens. And everybody gets kind of tired of, just doing one color, and you put more and more paint on your paintbrush, trying to get it done faster, and then you get drips. So that's what happens. There's two more places over there. There's something so pleasurable about a good paintbrush smoothing on paint. Just as nice. And I think before, that bears repeating. This is old plywood, and so it's got kind of a texture to it. It probably was cheap plywood to begin with, and it was used. We got it for free. So it's got little ridges. It can be maybe tricky. Oh, another message. I think I'm just about done. I will answer your message privately. Okay, gonna call it done for now. Where's my lid? So much for that for the time being. We're gonna go to the library and have a blast and make cartoon art. See you later. Bye.